Hey guys, Clay Westfall here. I, man, it's been kind of a phenomenal last couple days. I've been super blessed to be able to fish, just and be out there with my father-in-law. Also, just enjoying the holiday weekend. It's Labor Day weekend, and so, um, I've had a few days now just to be out there pretty much every night fishing on Canyon Lake, and it's been super, super fun. So. Um, I've kind of been like in a little bit of a slump as far as like making videos or thinking that I want to put out content just because there's just so many people out there that are doing it, and it's like, yeah, I have good information, but who really wants to watch my page? It's like, I don't know, maybe that's just the initial thing that you got to get over. But anyway, I was out there fishing the other night, and this guy came up to me on the boat ramp and said, "Hey, my name's Eric. I've seen you before on YouTube. I just want to say hello." And he was fishing off the boat ramp, and I'm like, "Wow, man, that's kind of cool. Like someone actually wants to see my videos." And it's not that it's like I'm putting out bad information. It's just not being super confident about it, I guess. And so, it made me feel good. It was like, wow, someone actually cares and wants to hear what I have to say about fishing, and he kind of gave me a few pointers and stuff, which was really cool. You could learn from anybody. This guy was a cool guy, and so he actually caught a little fish off the boat ramp, and it was pretty cool. So anyway, that gave me some more energy. It kind of re-energized me and made me realize, you know what? Even if a whole bunch of people don't watch my videos, maybe a few people will, and those few people, it'll be a good impact on their lives in some way. Maybe that can give them some information and help them catch more fish, or just networking in general. I think is what I would take away from that experience. So anyway, glad we broke into that and went over everything. But so today what I want to do is a little bit different. I made a video the other day called "So You Think You Want to Be a Pro Bass Fisherman?" And basically, I have this kid who I teach in Austin, Lake Travis, and he's a super great kid, but I don't think he wants to fish professionally anymore. And I completely understand why. He has other priorities. He wants to be a family man, and that's a honorable thing to do. Super proud of him for doing all that and making that decision. And if that's not the direction he wants to go, it's better to save the money and the time and the adversity. Save all those things. Just focus on school and relationships and all that. So I made that video and I was like, okay, cool. Like that's gonna be it. And it was in combination with like a fishing report. But after meeting this guy Eric, I was like, you know what? I want people to know my story more, and just kind of share information with the audience about how I got to where I'm at. Um, it's been 10 years. So I was like 18 years old when I started really, really getting serious with fishing. And, I would take someone out periodically when I was younger, and I would charge them money to go fishing. And it was guiding, it was just like the very beginning of that. And so, while maybe my end goal isn't just to be a guide, if that's all I was in this lifetime, like that would be way more than enough, and I would be super happy with that life, just because like I have countless guys who I take out that tell me about their friends who have passed away from cancer, or just terminal illness in general, like. And it's cool because it's like therapy for these guys, and it's an art to be able to talk with them and empathize, and you don't even have to say very much. Sometimes they just want someone to listen to, so it's super super cool in that regard. And I feel like while we're all trying to have purpose in this life, if I can combine something that I love so much with kind of like the therapy value of the interactions that I have on the water, like that is truly um, you know that's living an honorable life. So nonetheless, I'm just gonna kind of go over what my life has looked like for the last 10 years or so. I'm gonna be 29 here soon, so from 18 to 29, 28, that kind of decade there. Um, just kind of how I've gotten to where I'm at. Obviously, I'm still super, open to learning. I've got a lot to build on, and I'm still developing every single day. I am nowhere near, obviously I'm not on TV fishing for a living, but I have figured out a few things, and so I just want to share how everything has gone. So you go from where I started when I was 18, guiding once in a while. Um, I started college and did super super well at UTSA. I was an honor student. I had a little internship with an orthopedic foot and ankle surgeon, and I was the top of my class in honors biology. Just really really did well. Like I thought for sure. Not like I did. It wasn't really about the value of telling people, hey, I wanted to be in medical field. Like I really wanted to do that. I thought, and um, you know, I kind of just fishing was still kind of a little bit of a hobby, but then it quickly turned into something else. But nonetheless, I was going to school, doing well, and I was doing this fishing club with my buddy. His name was Flavio Robles, and we started this little fishing club at UTSA because college fishing was just kind of it wasn't very big back then, and we're like it was called Real Serious is what I made the name Real Serious. And so I was the president of this club, and there's just a few kids, a couple kids, whatever, and we would fish in these FLW events. And at the time, I was doing my honors classes. I was doing really well in my math and science courses. But I got frustrated because I had one or two events where I would go fish and, we would catch one fish or we would catch no fish. And it's kind of neat that FLW puts you on this stage and they say, hey, why don't you tell us how your day went? And you go up to these scales and everything, and you're on the microphone. You're like, gosh, it just, wasn't our day today. And it felt so sick to me. I was just like, man, I can't believe after all these years of fishing, I'm hearing myself saying it wasn't my day today. I mean, that is just disturbing. So it started to eat on me a little bit. And I'm like, you know what? I can do this. I can do really well at this. Like, I'm tired of giving excuses. I'm not giving any more excuses. So basically, what ended up happening is I didn't spend as much time in the fishing club and doing my normal routine, but I started going fishing on my kayak, which is the kayak that I won in high school. I won like this beautiful blue kayak, and I think I may have a picture somewhere. I gotta find it. And excuse me for all these other crazy photos. They're just, you know, I just have to go through all my stuff. So if I could find my kayak, yeah. So I mean, this picture kind of shows it. It's just a big blue kayak, and it was. This is Lake Waco actually, but it was like this awesome kayak, and I'm like, okay, that's my opportunity right there. Like that's my boat. Boom, I've got it. So in the FLW, we were using the pros boats, and now I'm like, all right, I'm gonna just fish out of my kayak. I had a kayak rack on the top of my Jeep Grand Cherokee, and so after winning that kayak, I'm like in college, I'm fishing all the time. Well, my college classes, I start going at night to study at the library. That, I do better at nights, school wise, everything. Even with that being the case, me being more productive at night, it was like I was just so into fishing because I wanted to quit making excuses. I'm like, I could do it, I could do it. No more going up to the scales saying this and that. So I'm like, just all in at this point. Still, very young, 18 years old, whatever. Whatever I was. And, it's like, man, I just don't know that I want to be a doctor. I can definitely do it, but this is just something I'm passionate about. I was nowhere near as talented in fishing as I was in school. School, I didn't really have to try at. Thank God. School for me came super, super, super naturally. I just had to read it or watch it or whatever, and I got it. So it was like, I was like, you know what? I may not be as good fishing, but I love it more. I'm going to give everything I've got. So what ends up happening is I'm dating this girl, and I'm so naive. I was still so young, and I thought that I was the master, and I had everything figured out. So I'm dating this girl. She's playing golf for her college. She was at one point the number one women's golfer in San Antonio. Okay, she was so serious about it. So she goes to Waco to play golf. She's playing college golf. I am like just so headstrong. I try to take my kayak to Alabama. And I just like, you know what? I'm going to make it. I don't care. I'm going to start on my kayak. I'm going to catch fish. I'm going to compete. I don't care what it takes. I'm going to do it. So out of a kayak, I'm like driving across the country to go to Alabama. And, she's like, going to come with me. She's going to come with me. So, I plan this huge thing and, her parents are upset. My parents are upset. And it's like, all right, well, I guess we'll just come back. So I go to Waco where she's living, and I'm like, I get a little apartment and I get a job at Academy selling fishing equipment. So I'm doing that. I've got a kayak and I'm living in this little stupid little apartment. I mean, absolutely just not good. It was like the lowest end apartment in Waco. And I had a roommate, whatever. The girl I was dating was living in this college dorm for golf, and she was on this. It was like a community college team, but they were like state champions and everything, or not state champions, national champions. And so basically, what I was doing is working and fishing and competing and guiding and whatever. Because I had my dad let me use his bass boat, like sometimes, and like I'd take it and then come back and give it back to him or whatever. But mainly, I was on my kayak initially. So, forgive me if I'm going all over the map. I'm trying to keep track of kind of how everything unfolded. So I've got this kayak. I'm fishing on Lake Waco. I thought I knew so much. I didn't know jack squat. I'm catching these little fish and stuff. And it's like, oh man, this is fun, whatever. It's like, I'm just learning. I'm learning on Lake Waco, It's like I didn't hardly know anything compared to what I know now. It's so funny how it goes. You're like, I'll do anything it takes to make it. It's like, so basically what it was is I live with this roommate and his name's Trey. He was a cool dude, whatever. He was, believe it or not, he was a massage therapist. It was kind of weird, but the guy was a nice guy. He was like really into science and stuff, and we got along well about we'd talk about science and all that because I still loved it. It wasn't like I stopped being interested in math and science. I was still really into it. I had anatomy books. I had everything in my house that I would get into. It was a hobby. And so I'm dropped out of college. I'm just living and just making it. I was getting paid nothing at Academy, just nothing. But we were selling so much fishing equipment. It was me, my best friend Bruce, and a couple other guys. This guy who's a policeman now, his name's Derek, and we were freaking selling a ton of fishing equipment. It was like we were the guys. We were bringing in so much customers, and it was just so much fun. And so, anyway, I was like fishing events. I was doing all these different things, but it was like my roommate was working. I've told this story before, like 1,000 times to my friends and all that, but basically, like I was super poor, like for myself. My parents have always done well, and they helped me periodically, but it was mainly I was on my own. So I was like living in this two-bedroom apartment with this guy, and he was an assistant manager at Bush's Chicken. And like literally the only time I ate, like for lunch, let me tell you what my lunch was. And every day I had my kayak on the top of my truck, on my top of my Jeep, and I would park it in the parking lot because I'd be fishing before work. This is every single day. I would haul this freaking kayak up, push it on top of my roof of my truck. I fished this kayak so much that the handles were falling off, the pedals were falling off. I beat this thing down into the ground because I would accept nothing but success. So I'm like freaking just getting serious. At lunchtime, I remember having the conversation with my other best friend on the phone, Robbie. I'm like, dude, I can only afford a $1 sandwich and a freaking Coke. And it was like, all right, which sandwich at McDonald's has the most matter? Which one has the most matter? That was the questions I was asking. And it was like, I wouldn't eat, I think I was like 28. Gene was super loose on me. Okay, I was freaking starving to death. And so, it was like when I could come home, or when I came home, whatever, like my buddy who I was living with, he like assistant manager of Bush's Chicken. Well, and I wrote a freaking book on this. I actually wrote a book and I put it on my website for a while. No one wants to read it. Whatever, that's fine. It hurt my ego a little bit, but I'm over it. So anyway, long story short, it's like he would come home with like chicken and he'd be on his motorcycle and he'd come home and be like literally midnight or 12:30, whatever, and I'd be sitting in the house. We didn't have freaking power or anything we would leave on. Or we'd have power, but we didn't have AC on ever, nothing. It would be freezing freaking cold. And I mean freezing freaking cold. And I would be in front of the fireplace burning sticks that we found and collected in the parking lot, okay? And I would be burning trash and bills to have fire in there. So I'm like barefoot. It's wet because I've got the kayak in there in the living room, like pinned up against the wall, the kayak. Every day I lugged it off my truck and put it in there. He would come home and he would have this chicken, and I'm like, oh my God. This is like the time I get to eat, and I would freaking demolish this. It'd be like the little stupid pies with the little sugar on them, and it was like hot pies. We'd have mashed potatoes, gravy, rolls, chicken, and it was like freaking so good. And so, anyways, I remember there were some nights he'd come back and say, "Yeah, no, I don't have anything," and I'm like, "What the hell, dude? What do you mean you don't have any food?" He's like, "Yeah, well, my boss is making us throw away the chicken because he says we don't appreciate it enough, and he wants us to value it, so we have to throw it away in front of him at night." I'm like, "Are you freaking kidding me, dude?" So those nights I wouldn't eat anything. And I mean, dude, I was starving to death. Starving to death, hungry. And then it'd be like, oh, I'd open up my cabinets, my cupboards to see if I have any canned food. That was like my last, oh, like, let me see if I have any canned food. I'd open my cupboard and I would have like little crumbs and stuff from the chicken, the grease in the chicken, and be hanging on the door or whatever, like it needs to be thrown out. And of course, we have freaking roaches. So we've got roaches all over. They're in the bathroom, they're in the kitchen, they're in the freaking cabinets, they're in the drawers. It's like, oh my God. Like I'm living in the freaking base level, right? And it gets worse, obviously. People are freaking homeless, okay? But I'm just telling you, it was freaking bad. So what I would do every night, waiting for him to get back for this chicken, is I would lay there next to the fireplace, burning trash and stuff. We would burn the chicken. I mean, just burning anything that would make heat. So I'm like, I would lay there every night watching these fishing DVDs that my best friend Bruce like lets me use. So let's see if I can get a picture of what the CDs look like so I can show you guys. So yeah, so this is the guy right here, Marty Stone. This guy right here, and I would watch him. I was just like learning so much. Oh yeah, here you go. Here's the Kelly Jordan classic patterns for deep structure, I think it was. I watched every single one of these freaking. I had like so many of them. I had like 6 of them, 7 or 8. No, and then I got like 20 different videos. I had so many videos, and it was like that's what I would do at night. I'd watch these and watch them and watch them and watch them and watch them to where I could like literally, I knew what they were gonna say before they even said it. Okay, I was like so into this. I'd lay there, freaking burning trash. You know what I'm saying? Like banana peel, anything that I could mix with everything else to throw everything away. I'm burning. It's just freaking crazy. And during the day, I'm waking up. I'm going out there fishing, crack of dawn, and I'm freaking working in the afternoons. And I'm going out there fishing. I'm like, I'm just whatever. Here, this is a picture of when the trolling motor for my dad's boat. Whenever I had my dad's boat for a little bit, but mainly I'm just like, fishing, flooded stuff, learning a little bit about some offshore stuff, but not really. I mean, on kayak, there's only so much you could do. I didn't really have my dad's boat all the time. But I'm like learning, I'm having fun. I'm out there freaking, my face is sunburned as hell. I'm freaking just, going through hell. And, man, it was like, this is Falcon Lake when I was with my buddy Flavio catching fish off the bank. We went to Vegas. We were freaking going crazy, dude. Where's some more kayak? I mean, obviously these are kayak pictures and stuff. It wasn't like I only fished on my kayak because, like I said, once in a while I had my dad's boat. But and then this is back in Canyon Lake visiting my dad and living on the edge and stuff. I'm like, yeah, this is like a couple little tournaments. This is like one little tournament that I happen to do good on, and like, it's like as a co-angler, my ribs are showing here. I was freaking starving, starving. Um, let me see. This is Falcon Lake. Look at that little fish. Falcon Lake. Um, this is all pictures from when I was a little boy in Mexico. But anyways, I'm doing that constantly. I remember I got my dad's boat, and it was like a whole nother level. I was taking people fishing. Eventually, what I ended up doing is I get a job at the golf course. Okay, obviously. See, here's the thing of the golf course. Me picking golf balls in the driving range. I've been in golf since I was a little kid. My girlfriend was in golf. I played in high school. I could have played in college, but I just didn't apply myself as much. Oh, this is what my dad's boat looks like right here. His old boat when I was pulling it with the Jeep. That's the old one right there. That's the Jeep with the rack that I put the kayak on. But yeah, dude, just real quick, going back to the thing with the apartment before I move on to the next place where I lived, there was like these pregnant ladies who'd come out and smoke on the porch, and we would talk to these pregnant ladies, and like these couple black guys, couple ghetto white guys, like just it was like this, it was ghetto as hell. And they were like, "Oh, you catch any fish today?" We'd be out there, just it was so dumb. I was so whacked out. And so anyways, eventually I start like, oh, I get an apartment. I get this golf job. I get an apartment with this guy Monty, who was like this. He was one of the golf guys, so that's him right there. And he's like works in the pro shop with me or whatever. We're playing golf and everything. I was still fishing my butt off. Oh yeah, this is our backyard where we had like I'd keep my kayak in the backyard. I had like a big yard at this point, like not a yard, but it was like concrete with this fenced area. We were partying every freaking night. I had no money, but we were partying. So the way it was set up is like all of these divisions of the backyard. There was like backyard, backyard, backyard. Like we knew everybody in our block. So like the next door neighbor was one of my really good friends, Michael, and then next door to him was his sister and her guy that she ended up marrying, and have kids with. And so he lived next door with his mom. The sister lives on. So what we do every night is we come out and we party. Just crazy, dude. I mean, like we would party from freaking. It would be like, I'd get home from either working or fishing, and I'd unload that freaking kayak, and they'd hear me come in unloading the kayak and everything, and boom, boom, you hear the kayak on the ground like falling off the truck and all that, and it'd be like pitch black. We'd go over there and just start getting a little crazy, whatever. But we party till freaking 1, 2 in the morning. I mean, just crazy, dude. I'm not taking care of myself. I'm like, it's just a madhouse. We're just going from backyard to backyard. His mom, Michael's mom that lives next to me, she was the nicest lady I've ever met in my life. Okay, this lady was the real freaking deal. She was legit. So anyway, she was this lesbian lady, believe it or not, super nice. She's like, "Oh, come over here to Mama Far's and I'll cook for you. I'm gonna, da da da." So we would come over there once in a while, and she knew I was freaking hungry. She knew I was starving, and she'd be like, "Oh, I'm gonna here's some, it'd be like Hamburger Helper and stuff, whatever they had. I'm freaking murdering it." And she'd be like, "Oh, get more." And so thank God for her. She was literally an angel in my life. That lady, Whitney Farr, you are a freaking angel. And it's not even nice to say you're a freaking angel. You're an angel, Whitney. Thank you. Thank you so much for everything you did for me. So, we were doing that. I was working at the golf course now. I wasn't working at an academy anymore because they got in this thing with me. First of all, what happened is the employees were hiding fishing equipment under the aisleways in like the little, I don't know what it is, but they were hiding fishing equipment until it went on clearance, and then they were buying it, okay? I did not do that one time. One time. So they have this big investigation for that. No one's saying anything. No one's admitting anything. I happen to be cleaning fishing reels, for the company. For Academy, I'm cleaning fishing reels. It's bringing customers in. They do this huge thing where they're like, "Oh, we found out that was telling someone that you were going to clean their fishing reels on the side, not in the store." And they used me as the scapegoat. They used me as a scapegoat for their whole thing that they had, the whole investigation for the freaking finding the merchandise that was stashed. I never did that one time, but they used me as that. What a disgrace to you, Academy, and my boss. You're a joke. So they did that to me, and I got in trouble for something that he told me I can do to help them get customers, and I did. And I had no money, and they freaking fired me, and what a joke. And I'm so glad that they did, because you lost all of that, guidance that I provided customers. All those customers we brought in, you lost it, and that was your fault. So you get what you put out. That was not cool. Anyways, I went through that whole situation, partying every night, freaking working. So I'm working at the country club now, and I'm working inside the pro shop. The only food that I had at the pro shop was like I'd go up on Sundays, and Sundays especially, because there's a buffet in the morning, and they would let us have the buffet after the members ate. You know what I'm saying? So it was like, all right, super cool. That's kind of how I was eating if I wasn't eating over at the Far's house or whatever. Or, I was still super poor or whatever. Um, so yeah, we went to Vegas. We're like partying in Vegas. It's like, yeah, I'm still fishing, whatever. I just want to go through a few of these pictures because it's kind of like really cool. It kind of gives you an idea of like who I am and what I was doing. Even though I had nothing, I'm like doing. See, I've got my country club shirt on, and I'm still, this is before work, and I'm just fishing. I'm just like a mess. I'm all over the map. I've got my dog Fisher. He's a freaking savage. You know what I'm saying? So, anyways, this is also Falcon Lake right here with my buddy Flavio. We were in Falcon Lake waiting on the shore, okay? And they have all these cacti that had rotted on the bank, and you can kind of see like on the behind me right here, you can kind of see it was like all the needles were in the mud and everything. We're barefoot walking out there to get our fish and to wade in to catch fish. And I swear to you, we caught so many fish, number one. We caught so many big fish out there. It was crazy. And I had needles in my feet, the cactus needles, for like a month. And they were infected and would not stop. Just they were bleeding, they were throbbing. My feet were. It was so bad. And of course, I'm not going to the hospital. I'm not doing anything. Like it was. It was freaking crazy. So, anyways, but it was worth it though. We caught some big fish. This is like in my house, like when I had the roommate or whatever, the new roommate. This is like all this fishing equipment that I bought from Bruce, my best buddy, and that was like lasted me for like a season or two or whatever. Just some stuff that kind of tided me over. I was guiding, so it was like I needed a lot of equipment, and so let's see. Yeah, tells you how freaking skinny I was right here. This is a prime example of how whacked out. This is my dad's boat, right? This is in Lake Waco. This is on a guide trip, and I'm like freaking bone skinny. My nose, you can't really tell, but my nose is like super red. So my ears and my nose would bleed, and they would flake. The skin would flake off because of the sun damage. Okay, I was fishing so much that I would fall asleep and dream all night about it, and that's all I dreamed about every night was fishing. It was just fishing. And then I'd come home and party, you know what I'm saying? I'd party, 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 wake up. I would wake up freaking at dark, grab the boat batteries for this boat because they didn't have an onboard charger. I'd grab the boat batteries that I was charging in my laundry room, and the acid was going everywhere and everything from the water because I didn't know that you're supposed to put DI water in there. So I'm like, hauling that out every day. So I was living on the edge, dude. I was living on the edge, And the reason why this Waco time in my life was so significant is because it was the defining period, like my first major growth period, like when I really stepped it up to the next level and went from being an average person to like, I know what I'm doing now. That was then. So let's see some of the stuff. This is more. I'm watching freaking Tackle Warehouse like tutorials. I mean, like I watched them constantly. I replay them. This Jared Lintner right here, a legit baller in California. They call him the Milkman. I was learning all about him. This is shallow jig fishing late fall. That paid off. I would go do these techniques in my kayak that he was doing, and it was like I'd catch him. And I was like, hell yeah, this is what I freaking talking about. You know what I'm saying? And I would learn watching these videos. And it was so awesome, dude. This is on my dad's boat, my dog, Fisher. Freaking little savage. Um, this is on my dad's boat also, because eventually he just like, here, you can keep it down there with you. Man, such an awesome. I hate even showing this picture, but I have to show you this picture because it is really the truth of, so you want to be a pro bass fisherman. This is me at my all-time skinniest, starving. Look at my nose, my ears. I'm freaking this is like I'm almost dead. This is freaking like not good. I don't even like looking at that now. That's disgusting to even look at. Here's a little crankbait that I really like right here. Just an old school, you know what I'm saying? But look supernatural. Yeah, more kayak pictures. This is so cool, man. This is so cool to have these pictures. How clear the water is right there. And I was doing, these little crawfish stuff, crankbaits, and on these rocks. Look at that, how cool that is. How awesome is that? Man, these are some trees I pulled my kayak up to, and then I climbed up in the trees and was casting down in these trees. Like I was literally in the treetop casting out. And I'm so happy I'm looking at these because it reminds me of all the beautiful, fun times I had, How awesome. Here's my kayak. Wow. Wow. Gosh, man, so many good memories. So many good memories. This right here was I was so amped up after this. 45-degree water temp, Lake Waco. I was like, I would go out every single day. This is when I was still really learning how, like, what to do in cold water, And it was like freezing. I'm like in a suit and everything. I go out every day trying to catch them. And I would go days without catching anything. Days and days and days. And it was like, okay, like I'm not catching anything. What am I doing? Like I need to switch it up. Meanwhile, I'm watching those videos. I'm like learning. Freaking, I find out that I need to be throwing finesse jigs and targeting deep wood, close to channels and stuff. I catch this fish right here. I'm like freaking screaming out in the middle of the lake, like, yes! It's like, hell yeah, baby. Hell yeah. So I'm like putting all this post on Facebook and everything. Unbelievable. There's days that I'm crying. I'm like so happy, you know what I'm saying? This is what the bottom of my boat looked like before. I was fishing. 99% of my efforts were into fishing. This is disgusting. My boat would never, ever, ever, ever be like this, ever now. Now I'm like a doctor. I've got everything organized. Boom, 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 boom. Everything's lined up. Back then, it was just like everything's in the bottom of the boat and I pull out what I need. And it was just like change, mix it up. Try this. Where's this worm? Throw this worm in the bottom of the boat. Pull out a hook. But it was just crazy how disorganized. You know what I'm saying? I'm just a savage at this point. You know what I'm saying? Mike Iaconelli, that's my boy. This is like one of my first websites here. Super ghetto. Waco Fishing Guide. Clay Westfall. I'm doing that. This is my buddy Clint. He worked at the golf course that I was at, and that's freaking awesome, dude. What other pictures do I have to share, really? Um, oh, this is out at Bruce's Pond. I'm like, oh, we need to fish and flip it on the post? Oh, let me get on the post and then I could flip directly to it. Like, let's get off the boat and get right on top of it so I can make that pitch directly in between the bark and the sap. How about we do that? That was like my mindset. You know what I'm saying? I freaking had a blast back then. So awesome. But I learned so many important life lessons, you know? It's like I just went crazy, dude. Crazy. So proud of what I learned back then. So freaking proud. I had to claw my way. The thing is that I grew up bass fishing. Sorry, I grew up striper fishing. Okay, I didn't know much about bass fishing. My dad would kind of like hear things periodically and he would try it, but he was not hardcore ever into bass fishing. So all of these new techniques I learned by myself and I paid the price. And you know what? These young kids these days, they want to go out there, they want sponsors, they want all this attractive stuff on Instagram, social media. Oh, I want equipment. You know what? You need to go out there and freaking pay the price. You need to go through it and you need to put in the work and reap the rewards and realize how good your life can be and how much better you'll feel about yourself when you do it. Okay? That's what it's about. It's about freaking going out and paying the price. Look at this. That's what I'm talking about, baby. That's what I'm talking about. That's a dedication right there. That's a dedication right there. This is in high school. Hell yeah. Look at this kid. He's like, damn, who's that? That's Clay Westfall, baby. All right, so you know what I'm saying? This is just more pictures, kind of similar stuff. This is when I met Judy Wong, the women's bassmaster. This is my buddy Flavio. This is her Yamamoto boat wrap on her Ranger boat, I think it was. She's in Toledo Bend. Um, Damn, dude. You know what I'm saying? Crushing it, baby. I have never, ever lost my love for medical and anatomy and math and science. You know what I'm saying? This is when I started going to Baylor, which was a freaking blessing. I met my wife there. This is from comparative chordate anatomy. This is basically cranial structures and jawbone, different things, a lot of different things that I was learning about. Here's some other stuff. You know what I'm saying? Mid-ventral skeletal structure, endochondral in origin. This is all about the what is it? The evolution of these structures and chordates, right? This is some of the notes I took and stuff. I'm just showing you guys this because this is part of me, and it's a part of me that I love so much. Nature in general, medical, everything. Like I'm way into all this stuff. You know what I'm saying? This is freaking cool. This is the development. What does it say? Blastomy or blastrova phase. Zygotes is talking about different organisms and how they develop and stuff. Dude, I freaking love math and science. So, anyways, dissections and stuff, all kinds of stuff. I just want to show you guys this stuff. I know it's not directly related to fishing, but dude, it's freaking cool. So anyway, yeah. That's some of the stuff like where I've been and stuff. Let me show you where I'm at now. So let's see, bushwhackerbaitco.com. Like I said, I wrote two books about what I have gone through and techniques and stuff. No one wants to read them. No one wants to buy them. That's okay, man. You know what? That's okay. I did it. And this book, the main one that I did that talked about what I had gone through and who I had met, the experiences on the water, everything. You know what? That took me years to develop, and I rewrote it multiple times, and I added things and took away, but no one's interested. So, anyways, this is my new website, man. I've had this for about a year, and I'm super proud of it. And you know what? I'm on that next level now. It's time for Big Daddy. Let the big dog eat. You know what I'm saying? It's go time. This is Canyon Lake, Lake Travis, my gallery, contact page. So like if you just go to Canyon Lake, for example, it talks about the lake, has some contact stuff, some like a little review on there, my map and everything. Lake Travis, like let's go to Lake Travis tips. You can go get tips. try new techniques, move often, look for life, watch other anglers, fish deep water. All these different tips, and then I, expand upon them. Of course, I got my gallery on here. Once in a while, I put good pictures on here of fish that I've caught or other people have caught with me. You know what I'm saying? Nice little gallery. I could have a lot more, but I don't. So, but yeah, so you go to I've got different reports. So you go to Lake Travis reports. Um, Year September 2019, August, June. I'm really regular in putting out reports. I put reports on Texas Fishing Forum constantly. I'm on LakeTravis.com and they do a fishing report. I'm on Texas Outside. I'm on a few different, you know, websites and stuff, but I'm just trying to build up my thing. Basically, what I've done is I've started putting all my resources primarily into Lake Travis. Okay, I teach the high school fishing thing. I'm actually a volunteer this year for Faith Angler Network. I guide. Okay, I am still doing like odd jobs and I'm doing construction. I'm doing whatever I can to help myself fund this thing. I'm not going to stop. I do believe that my best chance at being a guide is at Lake Travis if I'm going to stay in this area. Of course, I would. My dream is to go live on like Okeechobee or Clear Lake or one of these freaking good lakes. But for right now, I'm here in Texas, and it's okay. You know what I'm saying? My family's here, everything's okay. I hope to God I can make it on Lake Travis. That's what I'm really trying to do. So I've spent the last couple weeks putting money in advertising, changing like things in my website to be more SEO friendly, like just doing everything about it. One of my good buddies that I actually took out for a guide trip, that's how I met him. He's really good at SEO. He's like a guru. He's helped me. I hope to God that people want to go out and then I can get the client base that will let me fish every day. I know that's kind of like a pipe dream, but if I could fish every day and still live here, what that's going to do is my skill set is going to go through the roof and everything's going to be so sharp and honed. And I can fish events and I can basically fund, it's going to take off like a rocket. I've got the knowledge in here. But right here, the muscle memory, the instinct, everything, it's not what it used to be. So I've got more knowledge, but my instinct's not what it used to be. So if I can get that, I'm gonna take off. My momentum's gonna take off like a rocket, and it's gonna be freaking phenomenal. I want to make. I tie jigs. I gave them to my clients. I would sell them if people bought them, but they don't. But they're freaking nice jigs. They're premium. They got premium mustad hooks. They're painted heads that I always go either green pumpkin, brown, or black. And depending on what cover I'm fishing, how deep it is, I like to have the color of the head blend in. I do the skirts really good colors. I hand tie everything so it stays on good and that silicone band doesn't break off and you lose your skirts on your jigs. I do really nice stuff. I'm guiding. I wrote those books. I just don't know what else. I'm just going to continue, That's all there is to it. I have never gone out and tried to look for sponsors. I'd never wanted to be like, oh, sponsor me. Give me some free money. I would be open to having a sponsor, but I also realize my worth, and I don't feel like it's right for me to go to someone and just say, hey, sponsor me. If they like me and they want to find me and help me to, help them, because what it would do is it would allow me to be on the lake more. I'd be catching bigger fish. I would know where the fish are. I'd be fishing tournaments. I'd be doing better in the tournaments. I could afford the tournaments, and I would get more of a following, more of a reputation, and it would just build on itself. People would want to fish with me more. I'd fish tournaments with other really good guys. We'd win more money. I could fish bigger events. I could guide more. I can go to other lakes. I could do lessons. There's just so many things that can happen if I got support. But you know what? I'm going to be patient. I'm going to wait for it. And, maybe it'll happen one day. But for now, I'm just going to continue hammering down. I look at some of these people on TV, and I honestly believe that I could compete with them, and I think I could do well. It's just I don't have the resources, and I'm not good enough right now because I'm not fishing every day like I used to, and there's just so many things involved. I'm married, and so, which I'm blessed for that. Don't get me wrong, but it is a time commitment. So That's kind of really, I think I accomplished what I wanted to going through, this whole thing about my history and everything. There's obviously more that I'd like to go over, and you could read more in my book and all that. If you're interested, hit me up. If not, fine with me. But I'm doing my thing, man. I'm out here on Lake Travis. I'm out here on Canyon Lake. I've got a lot of good info. If you want to go on a guide trip, let me know. It will be super informative. I've been doing it long enough. I know how to take care of my clients. I'm about customer services, and I want everybody to have a good time. Number one, I'm a good listener. It's a fun deal. You can learn a lot. So, you know what? That's it. Thank you so much for your support, Eric. Thank you for reinvigorating me and helping me to get excited again about making fishing videos. Thank you for sharing your info with me. And God bless, guys. Thank you so much.